It's very difficult for you to see a designer brand that is this affordable and still smells very classy. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bella and this is Bella's Perfume Diaries. If this is your first time of stumbling on this channel, Perfume Diaries is a series where we talk about perfumes, a sprinkle of beauty and lifestyle. So if this is the kind of content you like, please click that subscribe button and join the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in once again. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing a haul of one of my favorite designer brands. I love this brand so much because their fragrances are classy and they are very affordable, and this is a designer brand. If you don't know already, the brand that I'll be talking about is Elizabeth Arden. This is one of the oldest brands that have been in existence even before I was born. Most of the fragrances in this brand, you can see them for as low as 15,000. It's very difficult for you to see a designer brand that is this affordable and still smells very classy. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into the video. The first one I'll be talking about is one of my absolute favorites. I've loved this fragrance for years now. The fragrance I'm talking about is White Tea by Elizabeth Arden. This fragrance is so comforting. It is a soft, captivating scent. This fragrance has sea notes, fern and mandarin orange that probably gives it this floral feel. It has iris as well. I'm guessing the iris in the fragrance makes it powdery because iris is known for making fragrances powdery. It is such a cozy, cuddly scent. So intoxicating. This fragrance will definitely give you compliments. Longevity is not beast mode, but it gives you like minimum of 8 hours on your clothes, on your skin. It is such an amazing scent. So this is White Tea by Elizabeth Arden. The next one I'll be talking about is Pretty by Elizabeth Arden. It's the bottle of this fragrance for me. The name of the fragrance just befits it. This fragrance has orange blossom, peach, mandarin orange and lily. When you spray this at first, you get this soft florals, and then it starts becoming deep in the mid and in the dry down. This fragrance reminds me of Beyonce Pulse. This fragrance is small but mighty. You start to get deep jasmine, and then you get some amber in the fragrance that just carries the fragrance and gives it this depth. Such a pretty floral scent. This fragrance will carry me 8 hours. So that is Pretty by Elizabeth. The next one I'll be talking about is the vintage one from this range. While I was growing up, whenever I hear Elizabeth Arden, I associate it with olden days fragrance, but most of Elizabeth Arden fragrances are not old school, but this is Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. The vintage quality that you get in Chanel No. 5 is what you get in Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. On initial spray, you get a blast of sweet fruit, which is not what I expected. I expected like a vintage floral straight up, but the vintage florals comes in the mid and in the dry down of this fragrance. So when you spray it at first, you get that blast of fruits, which is coming from the peach and the plum. Then the mid gets floral, and then it dries down into a rich powdery scent. That is where you get the vintage quality in this fragrance. It's such a beautiful, feminine, classic scent. It gives you minimum of 12 hours on your clothes, on your skin. This one really lasts long, and I feel that this fragrance pairs beautifully. That is Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. The next one I'll be talking about is Fifth Avenue by Elizabeth Arden. I mentioned this when I mentioned classy fragrances for women. It's such a classic fragrance. This one really surprised me because it doesn't smell vintage. It smells very modern. It's a white floral with a mixture of yellow florals. It's sweet, it's classic, and then it dries down to these soft florals. It is like a pretty girl scent. It has this lime in the top when you spray it that is not like a citrus lime, but it's more like a sweet lime. It makes the fragrance very sweet and inviting. This is such an amazing, playful, sweet, beautiful, pretty girl scent. This is Fifth Avenue by Elizabeth Arden. So we are going to go to the gourmand of this range, and I never thought that Elizabeth Arden would do a gourmand fragrance, but they have a gourmand, and that is Untold Absolute by Elizabeth Arden. This is such a thick, beautiful, amazing, sexy fragrance. This one is the one you wear for date night, and this fragrance is not up to 25k. It is really affordable, and it gives you that classy, designer, sexy, rich scent. It has notes like plum, ginger, Egyptian jasmine, it has vanilla, it has amber. When I saw them mentioning vanilla in this fragrance, I just felt like, okay, maybe it's not going to be a dominant vanilla or a dominant amber. It has a dominant, sexy, intense vanilla and amber in this fragrance. It has this tonka bean in the fragrance that just gives it this sweetness. This is so sexy. This fragrance reminds me of another fragrance that I cannot put my hands on. This is such a beautiful gourmand scent. I love gourmand fragrances, so this is one of my favorites. So this is Untold Absolute by Elizabeth Arden. I've heard of the Untold, I haven't tried it, so I don't know what that one smells like, but I heard it also has plum in it, but it's not a gourmand, it's still a floral. So it has plum, it has freesia, so it's more like a fruity fresh floral, but this one is like a gourmand, straight up a gourmand. So if you like gourmand scents, you are absolutely going to love this. This is Untold Absolute by Elizabeth Arden. So we are going to go to the freshies, but this is not a typical fresh scent. This fragrance has melon, and the fragrance that I'm talking about is Sunflower by Elizabeth Arden. So this fragrance has orange blossom, it has peach, it has lemon, it has melon as well. When you spray it at first, you get that burst of lemon in the fragrance, and then giving it this uniqueness is that peach. You know how peach just changes a fragrance and gives it this richness and uniqueness, and then the melon as well adds up to make it unique. I feel this one has a little bit of that vintage quality in it, just a little bit of it, so it just gives it this rich muskiness that carries the fragrance and gives it this elegance. I think that this fragrance is a little bit soapy. It actually adds up and makes this fragrance, you know, very fresh and clean. This fragrance is literally a happy fragrance. It's easily a fragrance that would grab compliments, loads of compliments. So that is Sunflowers by Elizabeth Arden. The next one I'll be talking about, I heard this fragrance is a dupe for one of my favorite fragrances, or it smells similar. Let me not say it's a dupe, because you know Elizabeth Arden fragrances were released long before this one. Always Red Femme. This smells very similar to Siamani. It has this boozy syrupy vanilla that Siamani has, but then in this one some florals are added. So this fragrance has cassis, pear, which Siamani also has cassis and pear in the fragrance. When you spray this fragrance, you get this brightness, you get this syrupy vanilla in the fragrance, you get some florals as well, which is probably coming from the jasmine, lily of the valley, and peach blossom that is in this fragrance, which Siamani doesn't have. But not looking at notes now, smelling them side by side, I feel that this fragrance is like 80% similar to Siamani. So if you want to know what Siamani smells like and you are not able to get Siamani in the price that it is, you can get Always Red Femme or Always Red. Those two are very much like compared to Siamani. Apart from it smelling similar to Siamani, this is an amazing scent. It's so sexy, it is so captivating, and it is very alluring. This is Always Red Femme by Elizabeth Arden. The next one I'll be talking about, I absolutely love this one just because it has green notes. I love fragrances that have green notes, but then at the same time they are still floral. So this is Arden Beauty by Elizabeth Arden. This one is like a musky floral green fragrance, but the florals are not really dominant in this fragrance. You get a mixture of that unique green notes in the fragrance. It also has rice. This fragrance also has iris in it, so it's actually powdery, but it's not like extremely powdery. You get whiffs of those florals added with little bit of green notes added with the rice notes as well, that just gives it this uniqueness, and then the powdery notes just envelopes this fragrance. It is such a beautiful, unique, amazing scent. Like, the fragrances in this Elizabeth Arden collection are really amazing. Most of them are really unique. You know how most of designer fragrances are now made to smell very similar to each other, but most of fragrances from Elizabeth Arden smell very unique. They bring in notes that are not really common, notes like melon, notes like rice, you know, very unique fragrance notes into their fragrances that just gives it this classiness. I smell some spiciness in this fragrance as well, so it gives it this spicy floral, green, powdery scent. Such an amazing fragrance. So that is Arden Beauty by Elizabeth Arden. The next one I'll be talking about is Provocative Woman by Elizabeth Arden. This one is supposed to be an ultra feminine fragrance. Another very weird thing is that this fragrance reminds me of another designer fragrance that I cannot put my hands on. It has these florals, like these thick florals, but then at the same time you smell like sweetness. It's more like a playful, sweet, fruity scent. So it has raspberry, it has orchid and pink freesia, which is the florals in this fragrance. It has amber and white tea. This one is not quiet. Most of Elizabeth Arden fragrances are not quiet. Like the Pretty, that was looking very innocent in a very innocent bottle, that one is not quiet at all. It's a very intense fragrance, but this one is really, really intense. I would say this fragrance is a loud fragrance, and it doesn't come off as harsh in your face. It's more like an elegant floral fruity scent that is intense and amazing. This fragrance would easily be sexy, would easily be elegant, would easily be classy. It just embodies everything feminine. Like, it's an ultra feminine fragrance. The name of this fragrance just says it all. She's a provocative woman. Such a beautiful, ultra feminine, bossy fragrance. That is Provocative Woman by Elizabeth Arden. The last one from my haul is one of my favorites. This is Elizabeth Arden Green Tea. I think this is like the most affordable out of all of them. This fragrance you can see for like 12k, 10k, higher is 15k. These fragrances will not be more than 20k. The ones that are more than 20k are probably the Fifth Avenue, the Untold, that is the Gourmand one, but these ones are like below 20, and then maybe the other flankers that I haven't mentioned as well. But Elizabeth Arden perfumes are quite affordable. So this is Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden. I love this fragrance so much. It literally smells like green tea but at the same time it has this classiness and this elegance in the fragrance. So this fragrance has lemon and bergamot at the top that just gives it this zesty, bright opening, but at the same time it is very crisp and clean. So it gives you this zesty, bright opening, almost mouth-watery. This fragrance smells like a tall, elegant woman that walks into the room with her head up high. This fragrance smells fresh and squeaky clean. Such a beautiful, elegant, green, captivating scent. This fragrance is loud. Don't overspray it because you would literally be choking yourself out. This fragrance would also be beautiful to be paired with another fresh floral. If you want your fragrance to be elegant, add a touch of Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden. I'm going to add one last one which is not in my collection, but I feel that I should talk about this one because a lot of people might love it. I had this in my collection but I decluttered it because it was an oud perfume and I'm not really an oud person, so I just felt like somebody else would appreciate it more in their collection than me. You've seen green notes, you've seen florals, you've seen fruity, you've seen fresh. So Elizabeth Arden also has an oud scent, and the fragrance I'm talking about is a flanker for Fifth Avenue, which is Fifth Avenue Royale. This one comes in a black tall bottle. I love the bottle of this fragrance. It has beautiful vintage designs on the bottle. I'll describe this as a woody, leathery scent. You get patchouli, you get amberwood and musk, so you get a lot of woody notes in this fragrance. If you love wood, you would absolutely love this. So this is Fifth Avenue Royale by Elizabeth Arden. Okay, so I've gone through like most of the fragrances in Elizabeth Arden fragrance collection. If I haven't mentioned anyone that you have tried before, please drop a comment. If you have seen anyone from this range that I have mentioned that you would really love to try, let me know in the comments. I love the fact that she spread her fragrance notes to, you know, fit every scent profile, so everybody would see something that they love from Elizabeth Arden perfumes. So guys, I mentioned 10 fragrances from Elizabeth Arden. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment. I would really love to connect with you in the comment section, and subscribe if you haven't. You need to subscribe at this point. You can't just come and be watching and be going. You need to subscribe, because you see yourself coming back to watch my videos and you haven't subscribed. Subscribe, turn on the post notification bell so that you know when I post. Thank you guys for tuning in to Bella's Perfume Diaries. I'll be seeing you on my next episode. Bye.